Sarah? Good morning and welcome to a new episode of Future of Europe. I am Ilona Nido and I'm delighted to welcome Sarah Gasnier, a student at the Catholic University of Lille in the Master's degree European Law and Litigation. Today we'll talk about a landmark case, the KS and KD case, that has significant implications for the EU's common foreign and security policy. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us today.
Thank you, Ilona.
So, what is the significance of the KS and KD judgment for the CJEU's jurisdiction in CFSP matters?
Well, the KS and KD judgment is a landmark decision that clarifies the CJEU's role in overseeing CFSP actions. The CFSP is the EU's agreed framework for security and defense actions, including missions like peacekeeping and policing. Previously, the CJEU had limited jurisdiction over CFSP due to restrictions in Article 24, Paragraph 1 of the TEU and 275 of the TFEU. These articles allow the CJEU to review only specific aspects such as the legality of sanctions and compliance with Article 40 TEU. In reaching its decision, the court relied on existing case law, including Rosneft, which confirmed the CJEU's jurisdiction to review the legality of CFSP-related restrictive measures. Additionally, Bangrefa Kargaran played a key role in establishing that the court could hear action for damages arising from restrictive measures. However, KS and KD diverges from these cases by extending jurisdiction beyond sanctions to include operational acts, such as failure in investigating crimes by EULEX Kosovo. This represents a significant shift, ensuring that individuals affected by CFSP missions can seek judicial redress for violation for fundamental rights. This decision ensures that even CFSP actions are subject to judicial review, aligning with the EU's commitment to the rule of law and effective judicial protection under Article 47 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights.
Okay, and what were the key facts and legal issues in this decision?
The KS and KD case involves tragic events following the Kosovo conflict in 1999. The plaintiffs, KS and KD, lost family members who were murdered or disappeared. Despite their efforts, these crimes remained unsolved. In 2008, the EU established EULEX Kosovo to strengthen rule of law institutions and investigate serious crimes. KS and KD claimed that EULEX Kosovo failed to properly investigate their cases, violating their fundamental rights under EU law, including the right to an effective remedy under Article 47 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights. They sought damages for these violations. The General Court dismissed their case, citing lack of jurisdiction over CFSP matters. The plaintiffs appealed to the CJEU, which ruled that the court has jurisdiction to hear action for damages arising from CFSP operations like EULEX Kosovo, distinguishing between political decisions and operational actions. This decision builds upon L'Italiana, where the CJEU ruled that judicial review of CFSP decisions was largely restricted, particularly regarding procurement procedures. However, KS and KD expands this precedent by asserting that administrative failures in CFSP missions, such as investigative shortcomings, should not be immune from judicial scrutiny.
And how did the court justify its jurisdiction, and what are the limits of it in this case?
The CJEU justified its jurisdiction by emphasizing the EU's fundamental principles: respect for fundamental rights, effective judicial protection, and the rule of law. These principles, enshrined in Article 2 TEU, 19 TEU, and 47 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights, apply to all areas of EU activity, including the CFSP. The court interpreted Article 2024 paragraph 1 TU and 275 of the TFEU systematically, arguing that operational acts or omissions, such as failure to investigate crimes, are administrative actions subject to judicial review. This ensures that individuals' right to effective judicial protection is not undermined. However, the court also set clear limits. High-level political or strategic decision within CFSP remains beyond its jurisdiction. For example, decisions about deploying missions or setting mandates are political and cannot be reviewed by the court. The CJEU's jurisdiction is limited to assessing whether operational actions comply with fundamental rights. This approach balances member states' foreign policy prerogative with the need for accountability. This reasoning aligns with the case HV Council, where the court reaffirmed that strategic CFSP decisions remain beyond its review. However, KS and KD diverges, by clarifying that operational acts, as opposed to political decisions, must be subject to judicial scrutiny, further solidifying the court's role in ensuring accountability in CFSP missions.
And what are the potential implications of this judgment for EU foreign policy and individual rights protection?
Well, this case has significant implications for EU foreign policy and individual right protection. It introduces greater accountability by allowing individuals to seek damages for violation caused by CFSP missions. This reinforces the principles that fundamental rights must be respected even in sensitive areas like the CFSP. The ruling also balances judicial oversight with member states' control over foreign policy decisions. By limiting its jurisdiction to operational acts, the court respects member states' prerogatives while ensuring accountability for administrative failures. This decision could lead to more cases challenging operational failures in CFSP missions, prompting EU institutions to rethink mission design to ensure compliance with fundamental rights. Finally, this judgment reflects a trend toward integrating CFSP into the overall framework of EU law. While the CFSP remains distinct due to its intergovernmental nature, the ruling shows that it is not immune from legal accountability. This case builds on the court's reasoning in previous case law, but marks a crucial shift by expanding judicial review beyond traditional CFSP exceptions.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah, for your time and your answers, and thank you to everyone who have been watching this episode of Future of Europe.